Hello everyone, I'm heading out to my carving shop with an antler and an idea for a carving. I picked up this antler some time ago and it's been sitting around my shop, and finally going to get around to try to carving something on it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve a scene here on the paddle of the fallow antler. I'm thinking a grizzly bear catching some Alaskan salmon as it jumps upstream out of the water. That's what I'm thinking. I like these lobes here, and they kind of remind me of water splashes and water movement. So that's kind of what I'm going with this one. We'll see how it turns out. I have never carved a fallow deer antler. I've carved whitetail antler, I've carved moose antler, but never fallow deer. So I'm not sure what I'm up against here. It really seems solid and hard, so we'll see what I'm up against. So one of the things I really like about this fallow deer antler is it sits really nice all by itself. It just sitting by itself, it sits pretty flat and level, and the carving will be up this way, and I might do some stuff down here, but it doesn't even need a base or anything like that. It'll sit great on a fireplace mantle or on any table, or just as it is, it'll display itself really well. Okay, so I've got my pattern sketched onto the antler here, and kind of like I said, I was going to do a bear fishing in a stream. He's got a salmon in his mouth and standing in a stream, and then down here I think I'm going to carve a salmon going this direction. I'm going to use the lobe here of the antler and kind of incorporate that into the salmon's tail. All I did is I just looked at some reference materials and I hand sketched it onto my antler. Just with a normal pencil, and then once I got everything drawn and the way I liked it on the antler, I just sprayed it with some cheap hairspray. The hairspray locks the lead to the antler, so as I carve, the oil from my skin doesn't wipe away my pattern and I have to redraw it or whatever. I do the same thing with eggshell carvings and just whatever else to lock down the lead. It's just a cheap, easy tip. So I'm going to get to carving here and just see what I'm up against. Okay everyone, so as you've seen, I took my cordless drill and I poked a whole bunch of holes in this antler. The reason I did that is above the bear here there's just a limb, and I want to remove all this material around the bear and around the limb to kind of give it like a lattice look. So I just made a dot-to-dot pattern, and I'm going to carve between the dots and then smooth everything up and just remove that right out of there. The rest of the carving will be just carved right into the antler. To remove the areas I wanted to remove there, going from my drilled hole to drilled hole, I end up having to use my Foredom flex shaft and this big honking bit here. It's a double cut carbide. I needed the torque of my Foredom. This antler is tough, just as I predicted. It's fairly thick and it is just really solid all the way through. Moose antlers aren't quite like that. They're a little spongier on the inside, but this one here is tough, so it's going to be something else to carve. So as you can see, I went from, you know, drilled hole to drilled hole, dot to dot, using the Foredom and just removing those areas. So now I'll be coming back in and just smoothing that up and making it look a lot better and getting down in the details a little bit. So that will be the next steps. Okay, so starting to get down to the details of the carving a little bit. Starting to put the fur on the bear and doing some smoothing out. If you noticed in the video, I've switched over to my micromotor handpiece now. I was using the Foredom, but now I've switched to the micromotor. And here's some of the burrs I've been using for the detailing. Still sticking with carbides, just different shapes. So I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think it's looking pretty decent. Alright, we'll keep going. Hey everyone, so I'm going to take a pause here and kind of show you where I'm at and what I've done up to this point. Just been working a lot on the small details here of the carving. Trying to get quite a bit of depth on this one. Trying to use the thickness of the antler the best I can. As you can see down in here, I've got 2 or 3 layers going on because that's a nice big thick chunk of the antler. Down here in the waves, I'm just I've been pushing them deep, so it's casting a nice shadow down in these pockets and these little areas. It really gives it some depth. The bear I'm pretty happy with. I got him fairly deep down in here. And the fish in his mouth, I've pushed it down to give it some nice shadows for weight and depth. And kind of same thing down here at the fish. I don't know if you can see down in here just kind of how deep I've gone with that. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I have just been using just a slug of different bits. Going down these small, just different sizes, different shapes, diamonds and carbides both. The diamond burrs, you know, they're really good for smoothing, sanding. This one here, this is a long, thin diamond burr. I actually bought it for gourds, but it's working really well on this antler for getting, you know, just getting down in these really tight little points. Like right here on the bear claw and stuff like that. It's really, really good for that. So I bought this off Wellborn Gourds website. So yeah, it's a pretty nice burr. So yeah, I haven't decided how I'm going to finish this thing. I still got some more carving to do, but as I'm carving, I'm trying to think in my head how I want to finish this. Do I want to paint it? Just make it white and polish it off? I don't know yet, so haven't decided. So we'll try to figure that out here. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm pretty happy with the fish and the bear and the water and the tree and everything over here, but I feel like, you know, all the carving's kind of heavy there on the paddle and there's nothing anywhere else. So I think I'm gonna take this tine here and I think I'm gonna carve this into a fish also. So maybe like the head of the fish here, and it kind of comes down like it's kind of jumping out of the water also right here. And then I think that will tie the carving in better, right? So, you know, I got that action going on down here, and then just bring something a little down here just to kind of tie it in. And that tine, I kind of like how it's sticking up there. So I'm going to try to make that look like a fish jumping out of the stream. So we'll get going here, and we'll see how it turns out. right, everyone, so I think I'm done with this one. I think I'm calling it good. I was debating earlier on how to finish it, and I've just pretty much decided that I'm going to leave this one natural. It's already got some pretty good depth, so it has a lot of nice shadows and everything to it. And I don't think I'm going to add any color or anything. I'm just going to spray it with a semi-gloss enamel, and I'm calling it done. So down here on the end, I took that tine and I added a salmon jumping out of the water there and some waves going back up the shaft of the antler. So that kind of ties that in, just adds a little more carving into that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Yeah, so I would say the Fallow Deer Antler is definitely carvable and doable. They're usually a little bit cheaper than moose antler, so that's nice. And they generally have, they're generally shaped like this, so they sit pretty much good by themselves. So yeah, I'd say Fallow Deer Antler is definitely something I'm going to add to my lineup for things to carve. So hey everyone, just want to thank you for following along in this video. If you want to keep seeing videos like this, remember to subscribe here on YouTube. And I'm also out there on Facebook and Instagram at Wolford Carving. And if any of you is interested in buying any of my carvings like this, I am on Etsy also. And again, that's Wolford Carving. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.